Hey guys, and welcome to Casual Shenanigans Gaming, the podcast all about DayZ, Battlefield, and console gaming, because I'm hosting today.
No.
And that's because Germ Gaming, his voice hurts a little bit today.
I didn't say you could do that.
His voice is kind of hurting today, so I'm kind of heading things up today.
So you will shout him down.
Yeah, today is podcast 17, right? You said?
Yes, 17.
Yeah, 17. Man, we've made it to 17 without killing each other. That's pretty awesome.
We are pretty far away, though, so that's a good thing, I think.
Or are we?
Not within driving distance of...
My house has wheels.
Oh, crap.
You're gonna show up in your house, like, staring out your window into my window.
Yeah, my parents tried to get us to go on vacation with them to the Outer Banks this past week, and they were going to be staying in a camper. And I was like, guys, I live in a camper. I don't really want to like go live in someone else's camper for a week in a campground. Like, my camper has fast internet and my computer. Anyway.
So you got some news.
Yes, the news.
Huh?
Very important. First item. Todd Harris from Hi-Res Studios, the developers of Tribes Ascend, has announced that mod tools are in the works for the not that popular free online shooter. Expect to see maps named things like Just Jumps, Jumps Everywhere, and mostly just jumps.
And of course, no gravity.
No gravity, yes.
Plus jumps.
Next item. Open world zombie game State of Decay will be released on PC sometime this year. Developer Undead Labs has announced that the game won't come with mod tools, but they are fine with the community doing their work for them and releasing mods. The game will debut through Steam's Early Access program, but the Early Access version will require gamers to use a controller. In other completely unrelated news, State of Decay will be on sale for $5 within a year.
Hey, if I could pause for a second, did we do introductions here?
We didn't.
Oh no.
Oh no.
I failed.
Who are you people?
I gave you one job, Joel. Actually, we do have somebody new on the podcast. So
I was going to say,
we should definitely do introductions. I'm sorry, Joel. Take it away.
No, okay, so go ahead, Dave.
Hey guys, I am Dave, the not so evil Viking 13.
I'm Germ Gaming, or Jeremiah.
I'm Joel, but you can call me Wilson. And our guest tonight is...
Yoshi.
That would be you.
But I also go by Mike.
And you'll recognize him from the DayZ Survivor Diaries, more specifically Breaking Bad. And he is joining this evening. I'm sorry, guys. I'm stumbling over my words a little. I'm just so excited.
How many sleep meds are you on right now? Like,
I'm not on any sleep meds. I'm on on a new IPA though that I greatly enjoyed earlier, and my throat is.
What is an IPA?
It's a ale.
Oh, okay.
Indian pale ale.
Tasty.
Not at all, actually. That's kind of their thing.
Doing some trading, son.
You got some paint you need to take off something, they'll do it. But it made my sore throat feel better, so that's one good redneck fix. Anyway, all right.
And you saw the future briefly.
A new mod for Skyrim was released this past weekend. The mod's name is Falskar, and it adds 25 hours of content and a new map a third the size of the original game. There are new characters, voice actors, and dozens of quests. Over 100 people contributed to the mod. What's most impressive is that the project was helmed by 19-year-old Alexander Velicki. He says that his goal is to land a job at Bethesda. Considering that his free mod is more impressive than all the official Skyrim DLC packs put together have been, we wish him the best of luck. And Falskar does look really entertaining, so I don't know, Dave, if you want to dust off your 130-hour character and give Falskar
130 only? You mean 430?
Well, it does look cool. I don't like Skyrim enough to want to dive into that. I haven't seen like 80% of the one map I'm on, but it does sound cool if you're really into Skyrim.
I think it's pretty impressive that someone did that.
Yeah,
that's pretty awesome.
A lot of work.
It does look really interesting. Ubisoft Senior VP of Marketing and Sales, Tony Key, has told GameSpot that Far Cry 4 is on the way. After we actually figured out how to make a good game, it turns out people wanted to buy that game, he said. He totally said that. Making a good game. Making a good game is a bold strategy that is underused in the gaming industry. But we look forward to seeing what Far Cry 4 has to offer. Oculus VR CEO Brendan Arib has told Edge that they want to find a business model that lets them release a free version of the Oculus Rift VR headset to consumers. While this sounds awesome, it doesn't sound at all practical. It sounds like they'll be adding pop-up ads to your gaming experience. I can't imagine how else you would make it free. They didn't say pop-up ads, but how else do you make it? How do you find a business model that makes it free? Like you can't
just audio ads.
You can't put ads on the outside of it. You don't see it. Like while you're using it, the only place for ads is inside. So,
dude, that would suck if it was kind of like Spotify, but like on crack, where it's like it just goes to like a 3D visual. Like it's like everyone's in,
but you know
freaking
what?
out.
Even if they
drink
did do
Pepsi
that,
in your face.
Or I can't remember. Does the do they have headsets with them, or is it not built in?
I think it's just visual. I think audio is up to you as far as I know.
Okay.
Because I was about to say, if it had the audio, they would build in like little whispers of advertisements,
Subliminal messaging,
playing like a scary game, and then all of a sudden, just a little whisper of "buy this, buy that."
Hey there.
Even if it did have pop-up ads on the visual part of it, I mean, if the headset's free, I'd sign up for one. I mean, I imagine those
Yeah,
two guys would
maybe
too,
you could buy like purchase something or pay them, and then they'll take the ads away. That'd be cool. Kind of like how Spotify works or something. Or
A subscription or something.
yeah.
I mean, I'm making fun of the business model, but honestly, it's probably not that bad because that guarantee that people would try it. I mean, I don't want to spend $300 to maybe have it work, but if it's free, yeah. Sign me up.
And then it works really well. They'll be like, heck yes.
Well, don't get too excited. Fox Digital Entertainment and QMX Interactive have announced a new multi-user social online role-playing game set in the Firefly universe.
Wait, what?
Firefly the game is coming.
Is that serious?
Be
Just
still
hold
my
on.
beating heart.
Hold on, guys.
No, you said it. You've crossed that line.
Creatively named Firefly Online, this game will initially be released on iOS and Android smartphones and tablets in the summer of 2014.
Why do you play with my heart, Jeremiah?
Is it like a top-down like space
Who knows?
like 2D space shooter?
Although Deus Ex: The Fall actually turned out to be really good, and it's iOS only, I think. So, we understand that you hate us for canceling Firefly, the game's announcement sheet reads, but just wait until we ask you to sign into Facebook to share your game progress. I'm just kidding. They didn't really say that.
Twist that knife.
There are plans to bring Firefly Online to other platforms, but Fox will probably cancel it before it gets the chance.
Ow, stop.
But yeah,
It's still
actually,
too soon. It's been like 10 years, but it's still too soon.
on that subject, when Deus Ex: The Fall was announced, I don't know if you guys have heard of that, but it just released. The way they announced it was really deceptive. They said, we have a new Deus Ex game coming, a direct sequel to Human Revolution, and everyone's like, ooh. They said Deus Ex: The Fall, and they gave us like a teasers of what it was going to be about, and it sounded really amazing. Then they were like, coming to iOS, and everyone was like, wait, what? But it just released, and it turns out it's really good if you like playing games on iOS. I tried to play Grand Theft Auto Vice City on my iPad, and I probably put like 200 hours into that game on the PS2. But on the iPad, it just kind of sucks. You can't shoot anybody. You've got like to tap on them and then tap the iPad in a different place. And
yeah, exactly. There's supposedly rumors that Apple's coming up with just a controller, but they're not actually going to be building one. They're going to be setting like a standard for what needs to be in a controller for an Apple device. So once that happens, that's going to be pretty cool because you'll be able to play some legit stuff on your Apple TV. So you can release the app.
if it happens,
Yeah.
that'd basically make it an Ouya at that point, wouldn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And then Ouya would be gone.
Well, Ouya is going to be gone probably on its own accord pretty soon.
Yeah.
The first game console to launch without a business plan. No, I'm sorry.
Nintendo needs to release a Ouya, but like a small thing that's just Nintendo, and all you get is every single freaking NES game ever made. That would be awesome.
I was going to say, the Wii U is kind of a Ouya. They released it without a plan for like games.
A minor detail.
All right, Joe.
I was going to mention something about the State of Decay. I have that game. I probably put in like 17, 18 hours in it so far.
Uh-huh.
It's a blast. It's a blast. And I'm excited that it's coming to PC because it's like 640p on the Xbox. It is so bad. Like, it looks horrible. It looks really bad. But it's a blast. It's like Grand Theft Auto Zombies. It's a lot of fun. But it's actually pretty kind of hardcore. Like, you play as one character, and you kind of can level him up. So the more melee hits you do, you can use the item longer, or you don't run out of stamina and stuff. But as soon as you die and your character literally gets ripped to bits, like in half by the zombies, then you play as another character that's another survivor that you recruited to your group. And it's really good. So
opinion question for you, Joel. I don't know all the details about like how you survive in the world and all, but do you think that this might be the casual version of DayZ that we were hoping that the WarZ might be, and it failed to be?
Yeah, other than the fact that it's not multiplayer.
Ooh, okay, that's a pretty big detail.
Yeah, other than that, it's not multiplayer. No, but they are working on. There's a second game they're working on that's supposed to be multiplayer. So if it was that and multiplayer, it'd be pretty awesome. Yeah, it'd be a really really fun game to play. So
someone's gonna do a casual DayZ that's gonna be awesome.
There's just building your house. You can wall up the doors. You can put you go out and you can call back for another person to come out and like grab the loot for you and bring it back. But if that character's not leveled up, they could get attacked by zombies and usually die, just like my characters. And then I steal the loot off of them.
I volunteer to be the loot slave. Let's go ahead and get that out there.
You guys have heard about that Rust game, right?
Yeah, I've heard about it. It's in closed beta right now, isn't it? Or closed alpha?
Closed alpha, yeah.
Closed alpha. I can't get keys for it. I'd like to try it out. It looks kind of cool.
Definitely.
But yeah, it's... How would you describe it?
It's a mixture between Minecraft, Gary's Mod, and DayZ.
Is it a Gary's Mod game?
Yes.
Gary's Mod is like $2.50 right now on Steam.
Mm-hmm.
$2? Man. I don't know about that.
I've watched some gameplay and stuff, and it looks like a blast.
Guess what is $3.74 on Steam in the same vein?
Oh, no.
Infestation.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Survivor Stories.
Wait, I gotta tell my good story about that.
All right.
So James was like, "Hey, did you guys hear about Infestation?" And I forgot that the game changed names. And he was like, "Yeah, it's open world zombie. We can all play together." And I was like, "Oh, sweet!" I like went on Steam real quick, like going through. I'm like, "This looks really cool," because the first two screenshots did not look like the WarZ right off the bat.
They're total PR shots, like setup shots.
So I was like, "Huh?" I was like, "Oh, this looks really cool." I was reading the features, like, "This is awesome." I'm like thinking about to buy it. I'm like, "Wait, no, you jerks!"
For those of you that don't remember, recently or haven't heard. Recently, the WarZ was legally forced to change their name to Infestation Survivor Stories, which sounds like an iOS game or something.
Although their art style, it kind of looks like they're ripping off Infamous on the PS3, but I don't know. I wish them all the best of luck in their long video game development career.
Which is ending. Going.
So, is that all the news you got, Jeremy?
That is all the news I have for this week.
That was riveting news.
I'm sure.
Has anyone been playing any games lately? Like, just that's not the standard DayZ stuff.
Well, on the Steam sale, we got Dave got for me. I'm still not buying games, guys. Chivalry Medieval Warfare. I played that with you guys. That was really fun.
Yeah. If anyone hasn't played that, it's a lot of fun.
It's interesting because...
I want to play that tonight after this, actually. That's what I really want to play.
I'd be up for that. It's interesting because it, like, you think about it, there haven't really been many multiplayer games that, like, multiplayer team versus team games that aren't a form of a shooter, you know?
Yeah, right.
And I didn't realize that till playing. I was like, wait a second, I've never played anything like this before. Like, the closest I've ever come is Mountain Blade. And I don't think that's multiplayer. I don't remember. When I played it, I wasn't playing multiplayer. And so this is the first time I've ever done it. And it's like, it's a really cool dynamic. And it's really brutal.
Yeah, and the other game, I think, the other game's not that old too either. Maybe like 2010 or 2009, maybe. I don't know.
Which game? The
Mountain Blade.
So they've released a bunch of different... They've released like Mountain Blade Warband. Oh, okay. And I think that they're the same people who made War of the Roses. Or some other game. I'm not sure. No, they made like another... It's pretty similar to Mountain Blade. I think they wanted to ditch the Mountain Blade name like because they did a higher quality game.
I remember playing a Half-Life mod. I think it was called Vikings and something like that. I think it was called Vikings or something.
Vikings and something like that. The really new game.
That's a great name. Yeah, that was pretty fun, but, it was old Half-Life mod. Oh, speaking of Half-Life mod, I just told Dave this. Supposedly, if you ever played Half-Life mods back in the past, did you ever hear about a mod called Sven Co-op? Sven Co-op. Basically, it was this mod that allowed you to play co-op Half-Life games with anybody, and it was a blast. But the original Half-Life is coming to Steam as a standalone that you can play co-op the whole Half-Life game with other people.
Oh, really?
We gotta play that. That sounds like a blast.
How many people can you play with?
I believe it's like, I think 4 to 8, something like that.
Oh wow!
All right.
Yeah. So
wow. I can't imagine how that's gonna work.
I don't know.
More enemies, maybe.
I don't know. Yeah,
but a lot of the puzzles aren't really designed for that many people, are they?
No, but you can put like the level, difficulty way up. It's pretty fun. But
Cool.
it just sounds like it'd be
Half-Life
hilarious
1.
just trying to go through the game together.
So is it going to be Half-Life Source, or is it going to be like Black Mesa?
I think it's
Source?
I think it's the original Half-Life. Just really old.
But Half-Life Source then, when they ported it to the Source engine?
No, just the original Half-Life.
Seriously?
I think they're modding it a bit so that it works, so they can have more people or more enemies on screen or something like that. But it's not the Source one.
Oh wow!
Seems like it'd be easier doing it on the Source one.
Yeah,
think
I
so?
don't know. I mean, it could be. I don't know. I haven't played it for such a long time. But I thought that was pretty awesome.
At that point, that'd pretty much be like a Left 4 Dead mod ported into Half-Life.
Sweet storyline.
That's a good segue into our topic this week.
Yeah, this is an interesting topic. So you wanted to talk about the Steam Summer Sale, and you're curious to know, does this by Steam making all these sales extremely cheap, is it weakening game sales, or is it weakening the games and making them more disposable?
We know it makes them more money, but what I'm wondering, like, I'll use Chivalry as an example, and I'll let you guys talk. Chivalry Medieval Warfare, like when that came out, I don't think that was a full $50 game, if I remember. But it was a game. I mean, it has got a lot of features in it. Like, it's not just a throwaway game. But that's kind of how we're playing it. Like, all we're playing is a couple of the multiplayer modes because it's so cheap. Like, we got it for so cheap during the sale, so we're having fun with it. But all we're experiencing is like one sliver of what the game has to offer, and then we'll probably never go beyond that. So what I'm wondering, like, we don't think it's a big deal because we got the game for $5 or $6, but does that cheapen all the work the developer put into it?
Yeah, it's interesting because I think if you had paid $50 for it, I think you would definitely try it. Try playing it more often than you would if you only paid $5 for it or $2 for it. Mm-hmm. I know that personally for certain games that I buy. Like, I bought Metro Last Light. I was really excited for it. I bought it. I think it was $50 when I got it. I was really excited for it, and I love the first one. And I'm pretty far in it, but now I'm at a point where it's like, man, this game actually kind of sucks. Like, the graphics are ooh and ah for a little bit, but then you realize how many bugs, and it's kind of hodgepodgey, and the weapons handle like crap again, and the enemies are ridiculously easy. I thought I was just really good at the game. I am playing on the hardest mode possible too, and I'm like, oh, this is pretty terrible. But since I paid for it, I'm slowly trying to go and beat it. But to be honest, I don't really feel that compelled that I have to just because I paid a lot for it.
Because you've already gotten how many hours out of it?
To be honest, maybe about 8 hours. That's about it.
Oh, wow.
So it's, I mean, I put in 6 hours of Chivalry the first day I bought it.
I was actually impressed by the game.
By Last Light?
Yeah.
Did you find it to be buggy? I hadn't heard that it was that buggy.
I mean, I think of bugs as, little animation glitches and stuff like that, but that's all I've run into. I've never run into anything like game breaking, But
Joe,
I think
what
it feels a lot
had?
better than the first game.
I don't know. The voice acting really bothers me because it's just so cheesy, really cheesy. And like,
you can tell it's Stalker's spiritual successor, the voice acting.
It doesn't. The game for me, it hasn't done a really good job of like trying to get you suspenseful. Like, there's a lot of weird like boss mode or just big animals that you like fall into something and then you have to fight it. But you never, for me, you're never quite sure, like, am I actually damaging this thing? Because it looks like you're shooting like on a shield or like this armor plate of it, but it never goes away. And it's like, I don't know. I can't tell when it's going to be done. I don't know. For me, it's just not fun. It's not a challenge. And I love games that are really feel really immersive and stuff. And the sound effects are really weak, especially because I turn the music off. And some games you can tell, at least I can, as soon as you turn the music off, you realize the sound artist does not plan the game for if the music is off, like to work with it off. Yeah. It has to be there. It's like the ambience. Like there's some areas that have no ambience whatsoever. So
wow.
There's something moving in the back of you, behind you, Yoshi. And what is that? Sorry, it's freaking me out. It's on the wall. I don't know what it is.
I'm sorry, what was that?
It looks like
poster?
a feather. Is it a feather behind you?
Oh, no, that's one of those Indian dream catchers.
Okay, sorry. I was like, it looks like a worm thing on there. I'm like, what is that?
Yoshi, behind you! And speaking of scary sounds.
Audio-only listeners, this is what you miss when you don't watch it live every week.
Scary things on the wall.
No, but that's, I mean, I'm still going to finish it, but it didn't have the charm as the first one did, at least for me.
Mm-hmm.
So, but,
so,
yeah.
So you feel like you have to play it a little bit more because you paid so much money for it. But if you'd picked it up,
I'm gonna try
to
finish it. Yeah.
If you picked it up for $3, you probably would have played it.
No,
right?
I wouldn't. Yeah, I probably wouldn't. If I
I
did,
think
it might
I agree
be
with
later.
Joel here, where if you pay full or even mostly full price for a game, I do feel obligated to at least like sample every section of the game, just to make sure that I'm not missing out on anything. Like I really feel like I need to get my full experience out of it. But on the other hand, a lot of the games that I buy full price are also games that I'm really excited about. And so I'd be doing that anyway. It's kind of like a convergence there.
Yeah. But if the game ends up turning out to be crappy for you and you did pay full price, I usually give it a little bit better chance than if I paid like $3
Definitely
for
true.
it. But
Definitely true.
I'm not holding myself to, I've got to finish this just because I paid it. I'm like, well, crap, I paid a lot for it and I don't like it, but whatever.
The Steam sale games make up for it.
I know.
Well, I know, like, there's been plenty of games I've bought on Steam sales where I'll get like 30 minutes into them and just be like, yeah, I don't enjoy this. And I think Steve brought up a good point before the podcast, and Steve is not on the podcast this evening. He and Chris had something to go do on Craigslist. I don't remember.
They're probably getting mugged right now.
Yeah.
Alleyway.
But he brought up a good point. He said, like, well, let me find out what he said. Yeah, he let me see. He said it could have a wider applicability to what it takes to maintain a widespread view that PC games / PC gaming in general are valuable. What does the cheapening of games really look like in a consumer-driven culture? Basically meaning that, like, we're assuming that the games themselves have some value. Like, there is a value to the games that we might be dismissing if we bought them so cheap that we don't look for that value. Mm-hmm. If we paid $3, we don't try to find much past the initial wow factor. If there isn't an initial wow factor, we're okay discarding it because we paid so little for it. Even though, a team of 50 designers or 50 game creators spent, a better part of a year or 2 years working on it.
80 hours a week slaving away.
Yeah. But
respect it.
And that assumes that, that the game itself has a tangible value in our culture. And then I was thinking about that, and it makes sense about the value of games. Like, the only single-player games I've played this year that I was compelled to play all the way through just based on the quality of the game itself were The Last of Us and BioShock Infinite. And last year, it was just The Witcher 2 and Deus Ex. And, like, those were the only single-player games I played. I started plenty of other single-player games, but most of them were ones I'd gotten so cheaply, and so I played them, and then I was done. I played them for a couple hours, and then I felt like I'd experienced all the game had to experience. But you can contrast that with playing multiplayer games with you guys. I don't think the value of the game is necessarily the experience itself, because most of the time, like, if you're playing by yourself, DayZ is an extremely boring game.
Yeah.
And Arma can be a fairly boring game. The value is playing
I wish
with
more
other
games
people.
had co-op.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the value is playing with other people. Like, we play multiplayer games that the mechanics and the story and everything are much worse than some of the single player games I've only put 2 hours into and then thrown out. But we'll play the multiplayer games for 30, 40 hours, because we're enjoying doing it together. So is the value really the game that we're playing, or is the value that it is a catalyst for us to hang out and spend time together, and the game itself is inconsequential as long as it's not so broken that it messes the experience up, like when Battlefield won't start for a week or something?
Yeah, I think it depends on your play style as well, because I mean, I really enjoy playing DayZ and all with you guys, but I can definitely jump into DayZ and play it for like 3 or 4 hours by myself and actually enjoy it. Mm-hmm. That's probably my limit, though, is like within 3 hours or so. I'm like, all right, it's time to move on.
I think that though, like the amount a game is worth has to go down personal to you. It doesn't matter if a developer spent 18 years working on it, you know? Like Valve, you know, I mean, they're spending like however long making another Half-Life game or a Left 4 Dead or whatever.
If they're actually making it.
It's worth $1 zillion to them, but it can be worth nothing to us if we don't like it. So that's really where it comes down. I do think, like, even with iPhones, like I have an iPhone, you need the App Store and stuff like that. And when I first got iPod or an iPhone, and any one of you guys has a phone they can buy or purchase apps, I really don't like the App Store at all. I really don't like it. I love some apps are 99 cents, but to me it bothers me because everybody is like desensitized into thinking that everything should be 99 cents. So and it's the same thing goes with, I shoot weddings. I do that as a side job, and I've done it for a living for a lot of years. And you'll have one guy who's insanely good at editing and shoot stuff. He can do it all. Let's say he brings a glide cam and all sorts of this stuff to a wedding. He decides, hey, I'm going to just do it for $200, right? And he makes the most amazing cinematic video. Well, now you have this bride who sees this video this guy did and says, wow, he did it for $200. And then I say, hey, you know, I charge $600 or whatever it is. And they go, I'm expecting you to do that. I'm like, well, I can do that. But the thing is, that kid probably just started, or that's not his own sole job. So he might have done that 1 or 2 times, but I guarantee you he won't be able to keep that up forever. That's just not possible because that's a lot of work.
The good old Craigslist photographer. 1,000 pictures, unlimited time, $50.
Yeah.
Or a Subway sandwich.
it only takes one developer to make an insanely good game like Valve and be like, oh, hey, do you guys want it for like $10? Boom. And now everyone's like, come on, now we're expecting this type of quality for only $10. Where it's like, no. For me as a gamer, I understand, no, like $50 for me for a game that I really want to play, like the new Splinter Cell game. That is totally worth it. I've been waiting for a long time. I love the Splinter Cell games. Very excited to get it. Yeah. I'm going to buy it day of. I can't wait to play it. So, but I'm a fan of it. You'd buy whatever the game you'd want to play, the new DayZ game or Battlefield or whatnot. Probably if you've been waiting for that long, like Half-Life, like I'll pay whatever it takes to get that game.
Same here.
You know?
Yeah.
We're all going to pay for Half-Life. Let's not lie here.
I'd be so pissed if I heard people going, well, Half-Life 3 better be only like $5 because I bought BioShock Infinite for $5 last year. So,
because
you know what I mean?
Counter-Strike Go was only $15, and that's Valve's last big game release. So if you expect everything from Valve to be that much. No, it makes sense. Like it just matters on what you expect out of it. And I'm right there with you with the like the whole wedding thing. Actually, I've found as I've upped my prices for wedding photography, I get more business from people who they associate the cheaper end of the market with the Craigslist photographers who like have the really crappy Picasso photo effects and are shooting full auto mode with their kit lenses and stuff.
Yeah.
And so as I've charged more, I've started attracting a section of the market that is willing to pay more, but more importantly, they're willing to appreciate why they're paying more. And like with really good games, I can appreciate why I paid $60 for The Last of Us, because I only got 10 hours out of that game, not including multiplayer, but 10 hours out of the story. But I mean, that was definitely worth $6 an hour. Like that entire game was so worth it. So I understand why I paid that much for that game. But like LA Noire, when that came out, that would have been a $50, $60 game. I guess it would have been $60. I got that in a Steam sale for $5. I played 4 hours and I was bored and I stopped playing it.
Yeah, I bought that sucker full price. I thought it was going to be awesome. I was really excited about it. Man, like 3 hours later, I'm like, wow, the driving sucks so bad. The shooting sucks. Even like just figuring out mysteries, I'm like, this sucks.
Yeah. So, you know, like with Last of Us, I understand why I paid that much. Like that value makes sense to me. But for games like LA Noire, any game that I'm not super pumped about, honestly, I think I do expect them to be cheaper now. Like they have to get down below $10 before I actually want to play them that badly.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that, you know, maybe it's just me, but I think a lot of games, especially in the PC, have been cheapened. They're also cheapened by piracy, you know? I mean, piracy is a real problem for a lot of PC developers, and the idea that, like, you can get the game for free, Steam kind of competes with that because they make it more convenient. Like, you know, if it's free or $5 and you get all the updates and it works, plenty of people will choose that. But I don't know. It's interesting. Like, I
think on the flip side of that too, if it were not for Steam sales, there would be a lot of games that I would just never try. Like, I have a very limited budget for PC games, and in a year's time, I'll probably only buy 3 new PC games over the course of the entire year. And there was a time where, like, I picked a few games a year to buy new. I would play those games for literally years and years and years. Yep. I still do that occasionally. You know, I'm always going to be playing Battlefield, and now probably things like DayZ and Arma are probably, like, you know, long-term games. But a lot of these Steam sale games, I would have never touched if it weren't for Steam sales.
No, that's entirely true. Actually, let me bring up my Steam library.
But the only thing that's wrong about your statement is the fact that those are games you weren't excited about anyways. You know what I mean? So if
you never would have given them a chance, though.
No, yeah, that's true. That's true.
But
I'm saying you would pay full price though if they were other games that you actually really wanted to play.
Right, but I have a very limited scope of games that I'm actually really excited about. I mean, very limited.
No, I know.
But there are plenty of games that are good that you just don't know are good. Like, they're not on your radar.
Yeah, example.
But we try them.
The new Hitman Absolution came out. What was it, like last year or something?
Yeah.
Yep.
I played one of the older Hitmans, like a really, really old one, and it was kind of fun, but, you know, not really my thing. I picked up Absolution for, I think, $9.99 over, like, a Christmas sale. I finally tried it in February, and according to my Steam counter, I put 20 hours into it, and I beat the whole thing, and I really enjoyed it. But I would have never bought that game at 50, 30, even 20 bucks. I never would have bought it. But for 10 bucks, I was like, okay, I can try it.
And that's been demonstrated by things like the Humble Bundle, which a lot of people are upset at because they say it does cheapen games too much because you can literally pay whatever you want. But at the same time, they're indie developers. Like, I don't think they feel too bad if, you know, it's the difference between, like, 200 people buying their game for $10 a piece or 30,000 people getting their game. You know, they're going to make way more money even if those people aren't paying that much. I think the only people that are really concerned about full retail price are, like, the big publishers.
Yeah, there was that THQ bundle around when THQ almost went out of business.
Oh, they did go out of business.
Yeah, I ended up.
That made them a good chunk of money back, though.
They did.
Last fire sale.
It put a few patches on the holes in the boat, but yeah. So, like, that, you know, people argue that devalues games, but honestly, as far as I'm concerned, like, maybe I won't play those games that long, but I never would have played them before. Like Dave said, like, it's the difference between me giving you no money or me giving you a little bit of money, not because I'm trying to stiff the developer, but because I didn't know their thing existed.
And you're also investing in future customers. Like, I'm now a fan of the Hitman series. I just never experienced it before. So now, when the next Hitman's announced, I'm going to be kind of watching out for that.
Yeah, you get their name out.
Exactly, yeah.
Well, I did that when I bought a PS2, I got, like, a Splinter Cell 3-pack. No, I got a pack on the GameCube of the first two Splinter Cell games, and I got them for super cheap, and that pretty much hooked me onto Splinter Cell. Like, I play every single Splinter Cell game now. I love Splinter Cell. So, and I never would have done that if, like, I was buying each game for $60. Like, I almost never buy something at full price now. I pretty much have to know I'm going to like it before I do that.
I think it's also interesting that other publishers that originally called out this idea of super cheap games, and I'm talking about EA specifically here, when they first released Origin around the launch of Battlefield 3, they said, they were asked, like, are you guys going to have the same kind of sales like Steam does? And EA came out and said, no way, that devalues games, like, we're never going to do that. And within a year, they were competing with Steam sales, and now they've had some really great sales. I've seen Battlefield 3 for $5 on Origin.
Yeah, they've realized that a small percentage of something is better than a large percentage of nothing. So.
Especially for EA with Origin, where they're trying to create that market share and actually maybe not steal customers from Steam, but at least get, you know, dual customers that are using both Steam and Origin. And you gotta get that user base started.
And instead of it only being like EA games like it first used to be, they're finally tossing out other developers and other companies and stuff. Yeah.
Quite a few, yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
What games are there?
I guess everything but Valve.
Has there been Crysis 3 on sale lately? Like really cheap?
I've seen it for $20 already. Actually,
right now on Steam, there's a Crysis collection, but that's only 1 and 2.
Let's see what's on the Steam sale right now.
I like Crysis 1. 2 is pretty bad.
How is SimCity still $60? Are they really selling that many?
No.
it made quite a few sales. It was the best-selling SimCity ever, mainly because of good marketing before it came out and the brand name.
Yeah.
I think it sold over 1 million copies, is what I heard, and that would make it the best-selling SimCity in history, which it makes me sad.
It must be. It was
a good game.
The brand name.
You played freaking 1 billion hours on it. That says a lot.
It was a flawed game.
From everything I've seen,
a fairly good flawed game.
if it was called something else, I don't think it would have even made a blip. Like from what I've seen, there are plenty of city building games that I've never even heard of that look like they blow SimCity away. Huh. I was looking at Anno and Cities XL Platinum.
Yeah, that looked like actually like a lot of fun. But
a terrible name for a game. It sounds like a cheap like dollar store ripoff.
But looking at gameplay videos, Let's Plays and stuff online, like they look so much cooler than SimCity. I think Tropico 4 is way cooler than SimCity.
By the way, you're a terrible person, Jeremiah.
Why?
You gifted me Tropico against my will, and I put I think 10 hours into that so far.
It's fun, isn't it?
It's terribly fun. You're a terrible person. You should be ashamed.
I'm going to buy it right now because I forgot about getting it.
Hey, Joel, how'd you like that game I sent you?
Oh, I've kept it. It's going to be in my library for a little while until you get it back for Christmas.
Oh, you can do that?
Yes, you can.
I don't have to add it to my. I can just keep it as a inventory.
Oh, okay.
For those of you listening, we tend to be vindictive game buyers.
I want to see if I can change the name of it so when I send it to you, it'd be like, Half-Life 3, here's a free gift. No.
No, what was the name of it, though? I don't even remember.
Let me see. I got it.
Sparkle Sunshine Adventures or something.
Yeah, it's Secret of the Magic Crystals and Magic Drop V.
How
Spore, names these things?
The Spore creature creator is $10 in Origin. Why? Who do they think they are?
Yeah, it is funny that I have noticed that Origin's normal prices drop much slower than Steam's, even though when they have a sale, they're competitive. But non-sale prices are not very competitive. Because
I think EA is trying to retain price parity across their console and digital platforms.
I bet you that's it. Yep.
Because they don't want to make the PC seem like a good deal.
See, yeah, they have other companies on there, but
people who are only listening to this, there was nothing shown.
Nothing I wanted to see.
Joel, please control that camera.
But yeah, Origin does have other games on there that aren't EA's, but you have to dig around for it. I just had to go around 5 minutes trying to find Grid 2.
Nice. Grid 2? I thought that was an EA.
No, it's Codemasters.
Codemasters is an EA studio?
I don't think so, because they have Tomb Raider on here.
Oh, okay.
Did anyone buy Tomb Raider?
$57.99.
Yeah. That's a great game.
I actually haven't.
Yeah, it's real fun.
If it's really cheap, that's a great game, Dave. You'd like it.
It's a
pretty short game too. It's about 10 hours is not too short, but that's short for you.
Yeah,
it's $12, but I think I'm gonna wait till it's about 6 or so.
I'd say it's worth $12, but yeah, if you're not in a hurry to play it,
if it gets cheaper, yeah. But
if I needed something to play, I really needed something, I would have bought it. But holy crap, my Steam library owns my face.
I'm working on mine. Oh yeah, speaking of things being played on Steam, this is kind of just a random tangent. So Joel, you're hosting, you can cut me off whenever. But I've been playing through Hotline Miami.
How is that?
Holy crap, that game is so hard. And some of the difficulty is even built into the design. Like you're attacking these rooms full of people. Not a spoiler. And you can't even see all the way into the rooms, so sometimes you can't even see if there's someone with a gun waiting to shoot you, and they'll shoot you as soon as you open the door. So, some of it's poorly designed, but it's really fun. The vintage 80s music and just tearing people up with bats and knives and.
Is it top down?
It's top down. And it's 8-bit style. It's really fun. It's definitely worth the $2 or whatever it was on sale for.
I bought Fez. That's really fun so far. I really like it. The music's pretty epic. It's just like kind of trippy almost. But
on a side note about pricing, I actually found some digging right here, a comment from Rocket regarding the pricing of DayZ standalone. There was actually a discussion about that last week where he kind of chimed in because there was a lot of rumors flying around. We've heard, Minecraft style pricing. We've heard, $80 to keep only the hardcore fans in the alpha. It was a terrible idea. Rocket said that Bohemia was like, nope. But he has a post here talking about basically at that initial $5 or $10 point, he does not think that they would recover costs at all, just because their team is so small. They have a tiny budget. They actually have a hard limit to what they can charge as far as low prices go for standalone. Mm-hmm. He did say that there's no final decision yet. It will increase. That's all they really know, like Minecraft style, whatever it is at the start, like an Arma 3 too. It will increase, but I just thought that was kind of interesting, where if you don't have pre-orders set up, like there will be no pre-orders for DayZ standalone, there's no real publisher pumping money into it, so when they sell the alpha, there's a base level of money they have to meet to keep going.
I'd guess, since Arma 3, like when it went into alpha, the cheapest version was $30 or $33. I would guess DayZ will probably be like 20. That's what I've been thinking.
That's the most common guess right now is $20, which sounds about right.
Sense. $20 is pretty fair. I think most people would buy it for that.
Yeah.
Or he will sell it for $50 and he'll make a killing.
And I'll cry for about 2 seconds while I pull up my credit card.
For 50, I'd probably wait and make sure it worked. Like I would possibly sit it out for a couple months. Dave, don't say yeah like you're agreeing with me. You're not agreeing with me.
I'm saying you would. I'm not saying I would.
You're like, yeah, that seems reasonable. You're thinking,
yeah, you go ahead and do that. You just go along that route all by yourself.
He'd be laughing all the way down to Cherno as he collected his beans, as we're like, should we buy it?
More loot for me.
But yeah, I think $20 would be a no-brainer for most people. So hopefully he prices it cheap enough that it's a no-brainer for the people who want it. I know he said he doesn't want everyone to buy it at first because it'll crush them. And I imagine because they want to have a steady stream of people buying it. Like, you don't want everyone who wants it to buy it immediately, and then you still have to develop the game for another year.
Well, you guys remember last year in the May-June period when patches were still coming out like every 2 weeks pretty regularly. Just the amount of like rage and tears with every patch that came out, because there were bugs with every patch. It was not a perfect process, but when you've got 400,000 people playing the alpha build of your mod, there's going to be a lot of just anger, and I wonder if we're going to see that with standalone too. It wouldn't surprise me.
Of course we are. Every change they make for Arma, people get upset about.
I'm just going to make my bets.
Doors.
My bets is that it's going to not work at all. I think it's just going to be like it's going to crash like constantly. For the first 3 weeks, I think it's going to be ridiculously bad.
I bet you the game will be stable, but the servers will not be.
Yeah, like all the servers. That's what I mean. Yeah, the servers.
Yeah.
And then it'll be like,
because all you'll be able to do is run around and pick up beans, and there'll be a couple zombies. Like, that'll be it.
So I'll be playing it constantly. Yeah, I just thought that was kind of interesting. Where for certain games that are trying these new development processes, where there's like either a Kickstarter or like an incentive program to buy the alpha, there's a hard limit to how low you can go in the beginning.
So should Rocket have done a Kickstarter? I mean, Chris Roberts made $13 million for Star Citizen. I bet you Rocket could have made $5 million.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. I wonder why he didn't.
I don't know.
From what I understand, Bohemia in last July officially bought the legal rights to the DayZ name, and at that point they gave Dean complete creative control of the project. And I think he didn't really care about the money. I'm sure his budget isn't great, but as long as he had creative control, that's what he really wanted. I think from there he just wanted to dive in and not worry about it. Because if you do a Kickstarter, you're kind of beholden to your supporters. You've got certain things you've got to meet.
Unless you decide just not to do it, which plenty of Kickstarter things have done. But yeah, if you want a good reputation, you are.
If you ever want to work in the games industry again,
yeah,
you kind of have to follow through a little bit. Yeah, it's interesting though.
Also, that definitely would have been funded quickly though.
The Kickstarter thing reminds me of 2 games. One is Among the Sleep. I don't know if you guys have heard of that.
No, I haven't.
It's supposed to be a survival game, or not survival, sorry, horror game. You play as a little baby.
Oh yeah, I downloaded the demo.
It's pretty
really
creepy,
good.
yeah.
Creepy
And
as
then
crap.
Also that, and what was it called? H-Hour, something like that. It's pretty much the creative director behind SOCOM 1 and 2. Mainly if you've ever played SOCOM. The first few were amazing. And this guy says this is what the previous SOCOMs should have been. And
what's the name of that one?
it's called H-Hour something.
H
It's got
dash
fully
hour.
H-Hour, yeah.
World's Elite. What a
World's
terrible
Elite, yeah, that's
subtitle.
what it was.
Oh, it's
And
on
it
Kickstarter.
got
I can't play
supported
it right now.
completely.
Oh.
But
Oh, it's already been supported.
yeah,
Oh, it just ended.
but there's more that they want. The more money you get, the quicker you can get it out. It's going to take a while, but it's supposed to be PC first, and then it's going to come out on the PlayStation 4.
These both look really good, actually.
Yeah, these look really sweet.
Both?
That's awesome.
Oh yeah,
Kind of
the-
looks like
see.
for some reason it reminds me a little bit of Spec Ops. The line.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got a look of that too.
But that looks great. I definitely want to play Among the Sleep. That looks really good.
That's a great, unique idea. That's awesome to see. Things like that is what Kickstarter was made for, just unique ideas.
Ideas that no publisher would ever greenlight.
Definitely. Because
Speaking of DayZ,
Yeah,
Because what
I played
go
the
ahead.
demo for the Among the Sleep was really interesting because the thing that made it more scary and suspenseful is the fact that you are the baby, and just from being down really low and knowing that you are a child makes it more creepy that you don't want things to happen to your character or the child. And trying to figure out how far is this game going to go? Like, what is going to happen to this child? It's a really creepy factor.
That's true.
But I like that idea because it's like you actually hear the baby saying a few things. But oh gosh, dude, it was fairly creepy.
Yeah, like what you were saying before about turning off the sound in Metro, and you could just tell the sound design wasn't created great for like the ambience. The ambience in that game is creepy. I mean, you can tell it's
really good.
You can tell it's it is an alpha because you can hear the sound cut out right at the end.
Yeah.
But the ambient noises that they have in it are creepy, really creepy.
nice.
I don't know if there's anything else to add. If we want to move over to my segment,
I think your segment is next, Mr. Giggles.
Everyone prepare yourselves.
This is 90 Seconds with Joel, part of the podcast where Joel talks about something for longer than 90 seconds. Joel, go.
Alright, not to be pretentious or anything, but this one's actually talking about a band that I started with my cousin and my mom. No, I'm just kidding. And my friends. We play in the town where I live in, and the music's kind of based off of the artist I really love, really enjoy listening to, is called Bonobo. He plays a lot of kind of trip-hop type of jazzy bits. So we just finally actually released a single, which I recorded and kind of mixed and everything. But I can share the link with everyone. But I just wanted to share that to anyone who
Here, why don't I put
enjoys
that underneath what you're talking about right now? I'll put it like plain as the background.
Okay,
It's really cool. It's jazzy. It reminded me of like a jazzy version of The Last of Us main theme.
You got the link that I sent you?
Yeah, I've got the link.
Cool. I'm not sure how to post it on the comments list.
Those of you who are watching live, you can't really go see it, but watch the final video later, and it'll have the audio in it, and I'll have a link to it. But I listened to it. I think it's good. I think you guys should definitely check it out.
I'll be using it here and there too. My videos.
I have it on Bandcamp. It's sparrowband.bandcamp.com. So if you enjoy that kind of music, you can listen to the whole thing without purchasing whatever. So, but yeah, that's all the news I really have.
It is pretty smooth.
And another
Smooth
segment
jazz.
that we're going to add for the podcast from now on is Half-Life 3 out yet segment. So, Joel, I'll kick it over to you. Is Half-Life 3 out yet?
Wait. Hold on, guys. Let me... Joel, I had to brace myself first. I wasn't ready for that. I got to brace for the soul-crushing disappointment.
My mom will come over and then hold you later.
All right, well... what do you guys want to talk about now that we're awkwardly ending?
I actually have just a little bit of random DayZ news for us.
Do you?
Some just small stuff. The standalone watch continues, much like the Half-Life 3 watch.
Standalone watch.
Thankfully, Dean has stopped posting basically anything on his Twitter just because everyone was like dissecting it, and it was getting obnoxious even for me.
He's a real PR guy.
Yeah,
to tell him not to say stuff.
He loves interacting, but man, there's so many people who are like just foaming at the mouth for this thing. He's just got to step back a little bit, I think. But someone
actually
actually
understand that he doesn't owe them a game. Like he doesn't work for them. He's not beholden to them. At any point, he could just say, "Yeah, I don't feel like doing this anymore." But people act like if he doesn't finish this game on their timetable, he has personally harmed them, and like I don't know.
You raped me!
Actually, there was actually a comment on a r/DayZ thread on Reddit where Dean basically was explaining, guys, I never actually set a date. I set a time range. We're not out of that range yet. Just please be patient. We want to make sure that there's a stable product. And he said that the alpha is a state, not a date. I liked how he said that. Basically, they have to get to the point where there is actually an alpha available. The game is still pre-alpha right now. They're still adding things to it every day and that sort of thing. But someone actually replied, basically said, like, you know, you've missed all these soft deadlines and it needs to come out right now. And someone replied to him basically saying, like, you realize you may have bought Arma 2 last year and enjoyed the mod, but you haven't actually paid for DayZ standalone yet. Like, you don't have a product in your hands yet. He doesn't owe you anything. And the guy's just like, but like, he owes it to us to release it, like, right now. And the guy's like, no, you don't understand. You haven't paid for it. And the guy's like, but I deserve it. Like, he went back and forth for like 6 posts. Like, it wouldn't sink in. I thought it was funny and kind of sad, but that's kind of what he's dealing with right now.
Who allowed that child to use that computer?
It's also summertime, and all the teens are out of school and bored, and it's hot. Everyone's grumpy. But speaking of people dissecting everything that he posts, the forums were down for Bohemia for about a week because of a hacking incident. Like, everyone else has gotten hacked. The forums get entered into and all that stuff. Now that they're back, someone has actually dug up just a single post that Rocket made deep in the forums like 2 weeks ago. I don't know how these people find this stuff. Like, I follow all the DayZ news possible, but still, this is some pretty impressive sleuthing here. Someone discovered
he went to his house
and then at gunpoint demanded news. This is some neat pieces here, and Joel, I swear, if you giggle, just talking about weapon attachments, and you know where this is going, Joel. Yeah, talking about the M4 specifically, and Rocket's talked about before, all the weapons from Arma 2 are basically gone at this point because they have this new hierarchical weapon system where everything's a giant flow graph, and weapons are no longer just a single M4 with red dot scope, and that's just all it is. Now you find an M4, and it's got tons of different attachments to it. And the M4 is actually in the alpha, it sounds like, according to what he's describing here. It's in the alpha right now, and already functioning as far as attachments go. There are 2 different kinds of buttstocks. Don't you giggle, Joel. That's actually what it's called. It's called a buttstock. Stop grinning. Joel, I swear you're 5 years old.
You made me laugh. It's just funny that... Okay.
It's also called a shoulder stock, just mentioning.
True, but buttstock is also a correct term for it. So 2 kinds of buttstocks, 2 kinds of handguards, RIS kit, in parentheses, I'm not sure what that is.
Riveting news, guys. Riveting.
A flashlight, 3 kinds of scopes, including ACOG, handrail, iron sights, and Rocket says something else I can't remember.
Barbie for men.
They have magazines, a couple of magazines, bayonet, silencers, just all kinds of cool stuff. And
okay, an M4 with a bayonet would be pretty cool.
Yeah, well, I'm excited about the flashlight, because if you guys have played the Arma 3 Alpha so far, the flashlights in the Alpha look sick. The lighting system is fantastic.
Beta.
It is beta now, that's right.
Yeah.
But long story short, this is a really great system for weapons, and I feel like even having less weapons, especially in the initial release, you're not going to feel it as much because you'll be able to customize your weapon, and it's going to hurt that much more when you lose it. Pretty exciting to see. Oh, and small note, we already knew this basically, but it is confirmed. The Mosin Nagant is not only confirmed, but in-game right now.
Oh boy.
For the motherland.
The new dinner bell.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, if you hate your shoulder, go ahead and rock that thing for a while.
Oh, they hurt. They really hurt.
But yeah, new weapons attachment system in DayZ, very exciting.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. The most riveting episode to date.
Oh, I can keep going if you wanted me to.
The episode is only as good as its host, Joel. Don't worry, guys. I'll be back
or
to
the
fighting for him
content.
next week. I'll be back to fighting for him next week.
Blame it all on Joel.
I'll just go ahead and whore out all our stuff.
That was so defeated sounding. Like,
You're
might
good
as
at
well.
that.
My voice is just kind of, it's reaching its limit. You follow Dave, Evil Viking 13 on YouTube, Evil Viking on Twitter. You can write into the show, casualshenanigans@gmail.com, tweet at casualshenaniga. You can follow me, Germ Gaming with a J. And you can follow Joel, Boundless MP on YouTube. Yoshi, do you have anything you want to pimp out?
Not right now.
All right.
Just Joel's
And
mom.
Yoshi's friendship. Yay! Thank you guys for watching. As always, we appreciate you. I'm sorry, Joel. I'm doing the outro. I just realized.
No, you go for it. You're
I'm
already
on
there.
autopilot. I'm already here. My mouth is just moving.
Go, 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 go!
Thank you all for watching. Send in questions, send in tech tips or tech questions, send in complaints about everything we did that you didn't like, because we totally owe you a good experience.
You deserve it. You're entitled.
You pay for this podcast and you deserve it. Wait.
We will see you guys next time. Thanks for listening or watching. Bye.
See you guys.
See ya.